let's continue. So, also one of the parameter which has impact to the negative consequences of and serious damage of electric shock, it's environmental factors. So, is it insulating material, or is it conductor? Also, is it some working surfaces? Is it dry or wet? Something else. And that's why a very important personal protective equipment. I will talk it a little later. Next, to characterize the influence of electric current on human, it's very important some physical feelings of the body. It can be some irritation or twitching muscles during the electric shock. Also, fibrillate current when the current causes ventricular fibrillation and paralysis of motor system. So, our skin and soft bodies too has a own resistance to the electric current. As you see, there are some range of resistance of our skin and soft bodies. For instance, outcome of the lesion strongly influences the resistance of the human body, which consists of the resistance of the skin, and they vary in the range of the skin from 3.103 to 2.104 ohm per meter. Soft bodies has a resistance more about 103 ohm per meter. So, duration of electric current and electric shock also one of the parameter. As you understand, if people will has influence of electric current and electric shock, the damage, the level of the damage will be very serious. So, as I said before, one of the parameter which has impact to the result and during the electric shock, it's a frequency, and the degree of damage depends on type of electric current. Is it alternating or direct current? And frequency will be very not constant parameter, and during the alternating current there will be some range of the frequency. So the most dangerous is the alternating current frequency from 20 Hz to 1000 Hz, and especially the frequency range from 50 to the 70 Hz. Since the current is such as frequency resonance phenomenon in biocurrents human body, and alternating current is more dangerous than direct current, depending from this range of the frequency. But the characteristics of alternating current just more voltage up to 220 volts, and at high voltage of direct current DC is more dangerous than alternating current, because during the direct current used very high level of the voltage, more than 300 volts. And this type of direct current used mostly at industrial premises, enterprises where high level of the voltage, high level of the electric current is needed and required. So affected person might happen if he is under stress and a steep touch also. The first of them is the tension between the 2 points of the circuit current. Voltage step, it's a voltage between 2 points in the current circuit located from each other by a step away, 0.8 meter, and at the same time that there is a person. The set of some equipment, machines, apparatus, lines and auxiliary equipment intended for the production and industrial processes, transmission and distribution of electrical energy, for instance in electrical stations, convert into another form of the energy called an installation. For electrical safety, there are some classification of installations which will depend from the voltage which are used here. For instance, the main classification include electrical voltage above 1000 volt, and in this type, this kind of networks needed special high current ground fault and isolated neutral. It's low earth fault current. Electrical systems up to 1000 volt. It's a second kind classification, which should be provided with a grounded neutral and isolated neutral. Earth neutral, what does it mean? Earth neutral is called a generator or transformer attached to the earthing system as directly or through a small resistance. Next, isolated neutral. It's neutral transformer or generator, not attached to the terminal device or connected to it through the device alarm, metering, protection, grounding, and supervision, reactors and the like, with a lot of resistance. So it's the main kind of the grounding earthing system. Generally, if we talk about classification about of grounding system, it's some natural and artificial type of the grounding or earthing system. Natural grounding system include our walls of the building, residential building, our home, and inside of these walls there are some metallic pads which can provide natural kind of the grounding, and it can provide some kind of the grounding system without static electricity, keeping of static electricity at offices, at home, and some a little level of the electric current from the our electronic equipment and etc. So electric shock to persons may occur in the following cases: contact with electrical parts, also touching not current conductive parts of electrical installation, is under stress as a result of damage to the insulation, and the impact of touch, voltage and step. So grounding system will be the kind of technical protection from electric shock. Electrical safety at work is provided by appropriate design of electrical installations, the use of technical means and methods of protection, organizational and technical measures. So The main technical ways and means of protection against electric shock, used alone or in combination with each other, and includes protective grounding, vanishing, and turn automatically shut down system. Equal potential low voltage electrical separation of networks, insulation of live parts, the compensation of Earth's fault currents, fencing devices, alarm and lock, safety signs, insulation and protective safety device. Common of these are protective earthing, vanishing, and automatically shut down system. Nowadays, we are at our country used automatically shut down system of electric current to prevent from electric injuries of people. And if you notice, sometimes electricity automatically shut down by this special equipment because the frequency and the voltage during the electric current can be very different. So, protective risk called international electrical connection to ground or equivalent not current conductive metal parts that can become live, and appointment of this reduce the current through the person to a safe value. Also, I think you know, or maybe you see at abroad, USA for instance, or Europe, they use grounding system, special GFCI, ground fault circuit interrupters, and the electronic equipment on these countries has special circuit to prevent from electrical injuries. Protective earth or metal parts to be vanishing electrical available for contact person. They do in all cases with a variable nominal voltage of 380 volt or higher, and a constant voltage of 440 volt and above, in areas with a high risk, extremely dangerous, and in outdoor installations with a rate of electric of alternating current through voltage from 42 to the 380 volt, and a constant from 110 to the 440 volt. The scope of application of the protective earth is a three-phase, 3-wire with voltage up to 1000 volt with isolated neutral networks, and voltage above 1000 volt with any neutral system. Earthing system consists of earthing and grounding conductors that connect to the grounding protection systems, and depending on the location relative to earthing grounding equipment, grounding devices divided into remote and control. So, grounders can be divided in artificial and natural. Natural grounding can be found in the length of the conductive of the communication and other facilities. In electrical alternating current, voltage up to 1000, ground resistance must not exceed 4 ohms. And vanishing called intentional electrical connection to protective as conductor, not current conductive metal parts that can become live. Appointment of vanishing is that the closure of one of the phases to the vanishing cabinet in the chain of this phase, short circuit occurs, which influencing current protection disables the emergency area of the circuit, and vanishing applied in 3-phase grounded neutral voltage up to 1000 volt.